So game week 4 in the Premier League is coming up this weekend. I have to say the bloody international break is over. Don't understand why they fit it in right at the start of the season. It's just caused interruption, nonsense, absolute upset. But even with the international break going on, well, Sam won big and Ollie has continued his great winning streak. So let's talk through that with you first of all, Ollie. Why have you been winning so well recently? Maybe talk us through your strategy.
Yeah, so that's 3 in a row now. 3 weeks in a row now. My EFL pick has landed. If you remember, I got off to a pretty poor start, but I was betting on games where there isn't much data, and I always think my strength is digging into the data and finding patterns. So when you've got nothing to go off, it makes it more difficult. But once there'd been a few games in the EFL and the patterns do start to emerge, I changed my strategy, stuck to what I know, and it seems to be paying dividends, mate, with another victory this week.
Well, I think that's the point is, this part of the season, especially for Premier League. So this is where Sam and I come into our own. It's still very early for a lot of the kind of data to help us with our picks, whereas you're a few weeks ahead in terms of that, and it's going to give you a lot of strength going forward. But before we get into this week's choices again, let me remind you to subscribe for the amazing videos. We've got lots of shorts, we've got these tips don't lie, but we've also got the live Q&A tomorrow answering your questions on who's going to be fit for the Premier League, because obviously with this international break there's going to be lots of stories coming in thick and fast about who is going to be available. But as I said there as well, Sam, you won big during this international break, so talk us through your victory and then what you're going to be betting on in game week 4.
Mate, I'm bang in form. In the past 2 weeks, I'm 35% up in terms of profit, that is. So absolutely flying at the moment. It started with that Sunderland win. It then cascade effect. Last week, National League, I told you all not to follow my advice that week. And let me tell you, 2 out of 3 landed. This, my favourite one ever, this. Tamworth to win and under 3 goals in the game. They got a little 1-0 victory there. Banking us £14.25 from a £3 stake. So that's 4.75 odds. Also landed a little National League EFL double. Bolton, Forest Green, Carlisle, 3.75, £2 on return, £7.50 last week. So huge wins. I told you ahead of time I was going to lean on the website a little bit more because I have no idea when it comes to the National League and EFL. But that actually helps me out a little bit, I think, because we think we know better. I look at the AI sometimes and I go against it. I started to change that when I backed the Sunderland win. I said, how are Sunderland going to beat Premier League proven opposition again? But I said, I'm going against my judgment and I'm going with the AI. That's what started off this winning streak. And then in the EFL and National League, I know nothing about those leagues. I just lean on the AI, lean on the data. You might have a little inclination about which teams are going to be better and worse or whatever, but you've got the cold hard data and the website just allows you to win.
It does. This is the reality. I think quite often with a lot of the bets that I want to do, I look at it and I go, this seems a very easy one, quite obvious. But then once you look at the AI and what's it's actually saying around it, it might be less than 50%, it might be less than 30%. And all of a sudden I get cold feet and think, well, actually, the AI knows thousands, if not millions more calculations than I do. And so I'm happy to kind of go, you know what? I'm going to miss that one and create a different bet which has a lot more behind it. So I like that, Sam. I think that's really good. And so what are the choices for game week 4 then?
Oh, this week I'm cooking up an absolute storm. So again, I'm leaning on the AI. I've learned from my mistakes at the start of the season. I'm leaning on the AI for these matches, and where I felt a little bit of hesitation, I've backed the double chance. My first pick is Colchester to win. Now, you're going to get them at good value, and the whole point of good value is that where we've highlighted the percentage, we convert that into odds, and if you're getting better odds than that at the bookies, then it's a good value pick. That means you can win in the long term. I'm backing Colchester to win away at Accrington Stanley. Now, they've got a 43% chance of a win, which converts to about 2.33 in odds. You can get them at 2.55. So I'm backing them and I'm putting half of my bankroll on that. So 50% of it, one big fiver is going on Colchester United. They've got the better stats of the two teams. In terms of the head-to-head record, Accrington have done all right recently, but that's just noise, man. We're going off the AI. We're going off the algorithm. Colchester away, they're sitting in 16th, and I also liked their away record as well. The next pick for you is what you might call the banker. I only kind of realised after putting this together how low the odds are, but I'm not going to allow that to make me stop betting on something because it's about making money and getting returns, right? So you don't just chase the odds. That's the worst thing you can do. I'm back in Middlesbrough or draw. They play Preston. away. Middlesbrough sitting top of the league, looking pretty. Reason I'm going for the draw is because the odds aren't above 50%. It's away at the end of the day as well. And that kind of slight bit of hesitation when I looked into the data made me just double down and go for the double chance. So I'm doing the same thing with Cagliari as well. Cagliari or draw, and that as a double is coming in at 1.8.
Christ
So
almighty.
£3 is going on that. But then, all right, if that doesn't get your pecker up, I've
It
got a long
hasn't.
shot for you.
My
on.
peck is firmly down right now.
All right. Well, just give me 30 more seconds. See what I can do.
That's all you've got.
We've got
30 seconds in the tank.
this one is 7-1, man. This one's gonna be. This is paying the bills, right? £2 going on this returns over £16.
Ooh-wee.
I'm backing Everton. They're at home to Villa. Now, historically, and maybe last season, you would have said that was insanity to back Everton to beat Villa, but they've brought in Grealish. They've brought in a few signings that I like. Kieran Dewsbury Hall. Villa have started the season off terribly. The AI backs Everton as well at 37%, but I'm confident in them, so I'm going to back them outright for the win. I'm also going to back, and I'm less confident in this one, funnily enough, Spurs away at West Ham.
Oof.
West Ham have had a torrid start to the season, but their data has been all right, but they've had these easy-ish fixtures, and I fancy Spurs to go and just win under Thomas Frank. I think that's what we're going to start to see. I think they're going to be pragmatic. I think they'll know how to pull apart a Graham Potter's team because it doesn't take much. Strong breeze could blow that team over. And Spurs are 41% favourites away from home, but it's a stone's throw away. So, they're not travelling far. I'm backing them for the win there. And lastly, I've got Bournemouth-Brighton. I feel like these two play each other all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm backing both teams to score in that
I knew
game.
you were going to say that.
Yeah, it jumps out at me as soon as I see that fixture. I think both teams.
But they're on my
score.
shit list, Bournemouth, because we both had Bournemouth, Tottenham last
know.
week. Both teams to score. Bournemouth kept a flipping clean sheet.
I know.
But anyway.
But I'm going to. The AI gives it a 60% chance of coming in.
Yeah.
Bournemouth did let me down by keeping that clean sheet. However, that was against Spurs, not against Brighton.
Yeah.
So I'm backing both teams to score in this one. What I really like is when I have a thought about a game instantly and I check it and the AI agrees with me.
Yes.
That's when I'm banking.
Yes, exactly,
That's when I'm absolutely putting dough down on it. So anyway, just to summarise, Everton to win, Spurs to win, and Brighton against Bournemouth, both teams to score. 7-1, man. I'm putting £2 on it. It's returning over £16.
I don't have any strong feelings on your first two picks, but I do think relying on Spurs to win away from home is questionable, especially West Ham with a big win against Forest before the international break. Remains to be seen. It's two unpredictable sides for me, and therefore making a pick is difficult, I'd say.
I must have misspoke. It's 7-1.
It's only 7-1 if it lands. It's
Exactly,
0-1 if it doesn't come in.
Yeah.
Look. I'm going to shock you both.
Check your pecker.
I'm going to check you both, and this is going to be like your pecker on double, triple Viagra right here. I've got a 24-1, guys. 24-1. This is like, I don't know, 24-1. This is like injecting the Viagra straight in to the pecker.
Yeah, I just heard a growl coming from his crotch.
So before we get on to my 24-1 picks, I just want to remind people.
24-1.
I know. But when I explain them, you'll be like, actually, these aren't too mental. But before we get on to that, I just want to remind people, do stay subscribed to the channel, because tomorrow we've got the live Q&A with injury expert Ben Dinnery, and he's got all the important news after the international break. Because, of course, we might be expecting, let's say, Jack Grealish to do well, but there might be some unknown news, and then tomorrow and the next day it will come out. And so just to help guide you with your Premier League picks. But let's get into it then. Huge odds. 24-1. I'm putting a $5 on this, and so this is big money. All right,
a Hail Mary.
This one here, Arsenal to win, and over 2.5 goals scored against Nottingham Forest. I think capitalising on Ange Ball, capitalising on the sheer anarchy over at Nottingham Forest, I think that just makes sense. Arsenal are at home. In the last 6 home games against Nottingham Forest, they've won 19-2. That's how good Arsenal are against Nottingham Forest at home. Then we move on to Everton versus Aston Villa. And since May, Everton have the most points in the Premier League. So they're just playing very, very well. Second most goals too. Villains have the second worst XG so far this season. So they are not an attacking force. And so I put them to win or draw. It's a double chance there. Then up next, Crystal Palace to win to nil. I don't think they're
Ooh.
conceding against Sunderland. They're at home. They're on their longest unbeaten run of all Premier League teams in the Premier League as well. I can see them stopping Sunderland, who, they seem to be two teams. When they're at home, Sunderland, they're amazing. When they're away, they really struggle. And the other team that is going to win to nil is Chelsea against a very bad
Oh.
Brentford team. The biggest one worry for me about this one is, will Chelsea score? They've been fabulous in kind of defence, but maybe their defensive side has actually, impacted their attack. So this one here, let's go through this one first of all before we get on to my usual conservative bet, which is so boring. But 24-1 on this. What do you think? Is it that outrageous?
I've got to say, I really like it. I like all those picks. I agree with all of them except for the Chelsea one. I think that I'm not really a Chelsea believer, to be honest. I think that I think they've been more inconsistent than the scorelines have suggested this season. For instance, Fulham, they should have been one down to Fulham at half time, and they actually went in one up. João Pedro scored 2 headers from set pieces. I don't think that will be a pattern. I think Cole Palmer will come back in the team, and he is not in form by any stretch. So I think I like all the other picks a lot. I think Brentford will give Chelsea a game personally, and I think that I wouldn't even be surprised to see Chelsea drop points, but I do think I could see them scoring, is what I'm saying.
I can't believe that's the part you had a problem with.
It
I
is.
can't believe it. I mean, he said that, all right, yeah, Ange's coming into Forest, but Nuno's very, very strict defensive, batten down the hatches kind of style doesn't just dissipate overnight.
But they've not kept a clean sheet since February.
But Arsenal have only been scoring from set pieces.
Mm.
I don't
Well,
think.
They
over
beat
the
Leeds
last
5-0.
over the
last
last
time
6 home games that Arsenal have had against Nottingham Forest, it's 19-2 on the scoreline.
Yeah.
So even if you say Nuno Espirito Santo, whatever, they've been scoring the goals against them. They seem to play well against them at home.
Yeah, also, Arsenal are the only team who haven't conceded one big chance so far this whole season.
No, but they have to score.
Yeah,
They have
yeah.
to score 3 or more goals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I got to admit that is a bit chancy, but that's why it's 24-1.
Sticking off his bankroll on it.
I
I just love
respect it.
Jason's, not even blind faith, but just, blind faith in Arsenal.
Well, to be fair,
Every week, subscribe to the channel if you want to come and see Jason wax lyrical about Arsenal for half an hour every
to be
week.
fair, I will come on to it. This week, I'm in the same boat as Jason. I think this is going to be a very one-sided game myself. But
Really?
we'll talk
I
about
could
it a
see
bit
a new
more.
manager bounce.
Nah, I don't
Can
see
it's
it.
that kind of situation where, like,
It's not a new
Big
manager,
Ange's a
though.
Vibes FC type of guy.
New manager.
Nuno would have been stomping around the Forest training ground and just putting a dampener on the vibe because
Mm.
I
think he's
don't.
got a hit out on him.
I'm pretty
the
sure.
Forest
I'm
owner.
pretty sure I read that the players are gutted about Nuno leaving. A new manager bounce, I
Yeah.
think, comes when you don't want the manager there, and then they get rid of him. Then they bring someone new in, and then you get the bounce. When you get rid of a manager the players want to have around, and bring in a random new guy who plays a completely different style, I think the players will see how emotional and sporadic the decision making is, and I don't see them. I don't see the players being pleased about it. I wouldn't be pleased if I was a fan.
Have
And I
you
think they'll
considered,
get
though, that
battered.
Marinakis has probably said to the players, I will kidnap and kill your whole family if you don't win this weekend?
Well, what I think is, just bringing it back to our video as well. So many Nottingham Forest fans. We made the video. We said to them, overperformed last season. They got lucky. Blah blah blah. And now, already, they're the first team to have their manager sacked. And I think the problem
Crumbling.
is, Postecoglou is going to destroy that team. They're going to
Yeah.
be fighting for relegation now
Yeah.
if they manage to even stay up. They need to get rid of him fast. Hopefully the players play the rule.
Not even kicked a ball under him. For what
Hilarious.
it's worth, I do agree with you. He won't be the next manager sacked, but I'd be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Ange doesn't see the end of the season.
Yeah, he
The
can't.
squad's not built for that kind of football. The fact they've done it 3 games into the season and not giving him a pre-season makes things even worse. Transfer window's shut. The only saving grace, I think, is apparently the owner's been making signings that Nuno didn't want, James McAtee was given as an example that Postecoglou did want. So he's probably been on the phone to him
Yeah.
going, when I get
Oh,
rid of this geezer,
yes.
I've already brought in a couple of players for you. So
Just
but-
wait
That
for
is
the first
ridiculous.
loss, though. I'd love to see them two go toe to toe on the touchline. Just
Super
trading leather.
heavyweights. Sumo wrestling.
Who's winning that? Yeah, sumo. Couple of sumos.
Yeah. Do you not think Marinakis, though, would be fueled by raw narcotics?
Are you allowed tools?
Of course you are. mate.
Cigarettes,
Breathe by it.
Oh,
alcohol.
well, yeah, no, I won't find. I mean, I reckon I'd probably fill Marinakis in and then he'd kill me. I'd go to the car park and there'd be two hooded figures waiting for
Yeah.
me. And I'd get absolutely wet up.
Let's continue on to my conservative bets then, 'cause
Let
Brilliant.
me guess, Jason. It's going to be Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool,
Double
double
chance.
chance. Yeah,
you missed Newcastle and Crystal Palace, but yes,
yeah.
the conservative way works. It's
Yeah,
0.7 to 1, so I'd put on £5, half of my betting. I'd be getting back about £9. So, that's a lovely little win. Can't knock it.
You're right. I mean, I've got to say I respect the strategy, but I only respect it because you've put your balls on the table with a 24 to 1. But I
Yeah.
appreciate that this strategy is going to accumulate a good tally over the season. So
Can I
do
just say,
respect.
to interrupt, right? The website games that are on the website this weekend are crazy. The amount of value games that are happening is probably
Yeah.
the most I've ever seen, as in where the odds are better than they should be. And that aligns with the AI. Jamie Vardy's Cremonese, 37% favourites, 3.25.
That's gone up since Vardy was announced.
Yeah, it is. It has. They're third in the league. They're doing
that-
unreal for the start of the season, and their data is way, way better than the home side. I like that. I like that
do
a
as
lot.
well.
3.25. I might give that a shout out on TikTok.
And that again proves to you how good the algorithm is, that it kind of works with the realities of what's happening in the world. Jamie Vardy, he is a fantastic striker. Maybe he's not what he once was, but he can still get the ball into the back of the net. And so the fact that Cremonese now have him, I'm not surprised that a lot of their data's boosted. That is such a brilliant kind of insight into how good the numbers game algorithm is.
I think he'll clean up in Italy, Jamie Vardy. He'll still be the quickest player on the pitch.
Yeah.
But speaking of the algorithm changing, right? Nice segue onto my picks. I wanted to bring something to everybody's attention because this one shocked me. Out of every single game happening in the top 4 tiers of English football this week, guess which one the AI has as the most one-sided?
I don't know the fixtures off by heart.
Newcastle versus Wolves.
Good guess. That was actually the second most one-sided. It's actually Arsenal to beat Nottingham Forest, and that's gone up. That has gone up since Nuno got sacked. So the AI is bearish on Big Ange being parachuted in without a pre-season. I understand why. Jason, you've already talked about the head-to-head between these two sides. Very, very dominant in Arsenal's favour. I think those Forest players will be annoyed that the manager who's done so well for them has just been sacked so unceremoniously. So I'm going with Arsenal to beat Forest as well. I'm going with under 2 goals for Forest. I actually think Arsenal will keep a clean sheet, but at the same time, I want to factor in the fact that, they may score from set piece and that kind of thing. Finally, I'm going with Gyökeres shot on target. He really looked like a flat track bully to me against Leeds. And I think he'll do really well for Arsenal at home against the weaker sides. He's obviously taking pens as well. So stuck him with a shot on target in that pick. And the other one is Newcastle to beat Wolves. Again, we touched on this before, but it's the second highest prediction percentage according to the AI, comes in at 61%. Newcastle are down at 17th in the table, but they have had a pretty tough start and they're actually 7th on the XG table, whereas Wolves are down at the bottom of the league and they're 19th on the XG table. So I don't expect Wolves to get a result there. This pick came in at just over 3 to 2, so a fiver, which is what I've put on it, returns 13.50. And then I've stuck to my usual strategy with an EFL pick and a vibes pick. I'll start with the EFL pick because I've landed 3 in a row of them, just to remind everybody. I've got Coventry to beat Norwich again. Last time I backed Coventry, they won 7-1. So Coventry at home to Norwich. I'm backing them to win. I'm backing there to be over 2 goals in the game, and I'm backing Hadji Wright to have a shot on target. So there's been 20 goals in Coventry's last 3 league games, which is just bizarre. Norwich are averaging a goal and a half for and a goal and a half against across their last 5 games. So also not scared of scoring and conceding. And Hadji Wright's got 5 goals in 4 games with a 1.5 shots on target per game average. So just makes a lot of sense, to be honest. I think Coventry, one of the most exciting teams in England at the moment, and I think they'll do the business against Norwich. In this pick, I've also got Swindon to beat Harrogate. I'm following your strategy there, just going with the AI. The AI loves it at 53%. Swindon have won 4 in a row. Harrogate have lost 3 in a row. It's as simple as that. You don't have to overcomplicate it sometimes, do you?
Exactly.
And finally, I should say on that pick, it was the EFL pick. I put £3 on it. It returns 14.35. So decent little payout there. But finally, the vibes pick, and this one, there's no data backing this up. There's no AI involved in this one. This one's purely from the heart, and that is Jack Grealish to score, both teams to score in the game, and Everton or draw. Grealish against his old club Villa. He's looked like his old self. Funny enough, he looks like exactly the kind of player that Man City need. Someone who can make something happen and supply for the strikers. He's got the most assists in the league, but I think he'll want to score against Villa. I've got both teams to score for a completely ridiculous reason, and that is that Villa are the only team who haven't scored yet, despite creating a fair bit of XG, and Everton's defence is actually 17th in the league for XG conceded. I think Villa might score in this one, I can see that. And finally, Everton double chance, because if you add together the AI prediction for them to win and draw, it comes in at 65%. We've talked about how good Everton are at home and how bad Villa have been on the road for nearly 2 years now. So altogether, I've put £2 on that, and that returns 15. So that's what's 6.5 to 1. Nice little earner there, I hope. What do you guys think?
Little Bunsen burner. I like it a lot. We've talked a lot about this intangible thing of players beating their old clubs. We've got no data to back it up, but it just always seems to be the case.
Yeah.
I know there's a bit of confirmation bias going on, but on a human level, you know that if you're playing against a club that's, I mean, Grealish and Villa's a little bit different. It's not like he's bitter against Villa. It's the other way around, but he'll still be highly, highly motivated to play well in that game. So he's going to put in 110%. So I like that. Double chance is fair. Both teams to score, I don't know. That's the bit that would worry me a bit more.
Yeah, I mean, Villa's attack has been terrible, I have to say, but I did exactly what you said, not to do and chase the odds a little bit. I thought statistically they are going to score at some point, right? And Everton are not a good defence. We think they are because of the Sean Dyche era, but they're actually not. They've actually been bad at defending.
Villa have generated 0.9 XG per game on average.
Yeah, it's not great, is it?
No, it's pretty terrible.
But now they've got
What's the
Jadon,
both
now
teams
they've
to
got
score
Jadon
percentage?
Sancho, so
56%. That's one of the lowest you'll see as well. Either happens or it doesn't.
But Jadon Sancho, so you know,
So definitely won't go.
yeah.
I
Look,
like it too.
like I said, it's pure vibes, that one. So that's the one I'm willing to have picked apart.
I think you've done a fabulous job there, Ollie.
Thank you, mate. I appreciate that a lot. I'm going to make it 4 on the bounce. Surge into the lead.
Well, no, don't surge into the lead. My 24 to 1's going to come in, but you know, you can be a nice second behind me.
Worth saying as well, if any of your picks land, you'll be in the green. Actually, no, you won't, because of the other wagers. You need 2 of them to land to be in the green.
Yeah, but I'm getting close to. I've slashed my deficit by 2/3, I think. So I'm on a streak.
We've come into form now. We said at the start of the season it's the toughest time to predict games. First game back, there's manager changes, there's new signings. You don't know how anyone's going to bid in. You don't know how the pre-season's gone. You don't know who's been on the piss all summer. It's actually really, really
transfer
difficult.
window as well. Transfer
window's still open. You don't know who's motivated and who's not. You don't know who's eyeing a move up.
Yeah, teams are lining up with completely different lineups from what they were 2 weeks ago. So it makes it very difficult. But now, this next period of games,
this is where the money's made.
To be fair, there's only another 4 weeks till the next international break. But this is when the foot goes on the gas, and by the next international break, I'm expecting at least 2 of us to be in the green.
Yeah, defo. And it's also where the website comes into its own as well, because it's a data-based website. It has to have some data to go off. Yes, it's got historical data, but when you're talking about 2 teams, like we say, that are just completely up in the air at the start of the season, it's very difficult. So it goes from strength to strength, and this is where we're going to start printing dough, lads. This is where we're going to start printing money. I mean, not because it's YouTube algorithm.
Wonderful. Well, that is the episode for Game Week 4. We really look forward to seeing and hearing your story. So do get in the comments below whether you agree or disagree with our picks. Did we miss something that maybe the AI says on the Numbers Game website, Also, do head over to the website to sign up. It's free for the Premier League, but we've got some monster packages as well that are just going to help you with your picks through the season. And we've got lots of content on here as well. The exclusive Q&A with Ben Dinnery is tomorrow. You can answer all your questions from Premier League experts. And, well, what more could you ask for, really? We will see you again next week. But for now, best of luck and let us know about your picks.